as well. And welcome to my review of Sonic Movie 3! Let's take it go! The way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna go through some of my favorite bits I have illustrated. I have illustrated some of my favorite bits from the movie. Please do not judge my illustration skills too much, okay? I did my best. I did my best, and that's the important thing. But first, I would like to start with general thoughts. Just a general summary of what I thought of Sonic Movie 3. I mean, in general, what I would like to say is absolutely best movie of all time. Best movie of all time. Okay, here's why, okay? Now, okay, let me talk about it properly. Because how cool is it? My favorite game of all time, right? My favorite game of all time is Sonic Adventure 2. Hands down. No doubt, right? So when I heard that that was going to be the basis for the movie, I was excited, but also scared at the same time. In the same way that I was scared before I watched the first Sonic movie, because it's something that's so important to me, right? It's something like so important to me, and I just really wanted them to get it right. And when I did watch the first Sonic movie and it was so good, I was like, oh, thank goodness, right? And so I had a lot of confidence that my favorite game, adapted into a movie would be good, but it really exceeded my expectations. Of course, it wasn't exactly like the plot of the game, which I was expecting, right? I was expecting them to kind of like adapt the plot of it to make it more digestible for Hollywood. And I think that the way that they did it for this one, like the balance, they got absolutely perfect. You know, as much as I loved Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, one thing I did find is that in Sonic 3, the balance, right, between the original human characters in the movie, I thought that in Sonic 3 was just perfect. Like, in Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, maybe some people could argue that those kind of original new human characters that are only in the movie universe were maybe slightly overused, perhaps. I mean, I still really enjoyed them, right? But I thought that the balance in this movie was absolutely perfect. You know, we got our moment with Donut Lord. You know, we got so much great Agent Stone content. Oh my god. And I think that they utilized those characters in like a perfect synergy for this one. Lucky Baby, welcome in. Sammy, welcome in. You saw the movie? Yeah, I'm currently doing my movie review. I'm going through all of my favorite bits for you guys. My analysis. Yeah. So yeah, I felt like the balance between the original characters and, you know, the characters that, you know, in the Sonic universe was just absolutely perfect. Mwah, chef's kiss this time. I thought so. And honestly, the third movie, my favorite out of the whole trilogy. And it seems like the internet in general agrees. For example, Rotten Tomatoes, I believe Sonic Movie 3 is currently at 88%. 88% average score, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. So the general public also agree. And also, it did amazingly in territories like the US. So the Sonic movie even, I think, surpassed Mufasa as well for box office numbers, which is really heckin' amazing. It did really great, and you can definitely see why. Another thing that I think we definitely have to talk about is the cast. The cast for the movie was absolutely mwah, chef's kiss. We had a lot of obviously returning cast members from the previous Sonic movies, and this time with the addition of Keanu Reeves as Shadow. Honestly, it was everything I could have hoped for. He channeled that John Wick energy that clearly the team was looking for. What a great kind of basis for Shadow's character. They have so many kind of like similar vibes, I think. And it just worked so perfectly. Like, I could not have picked a better Shadow, honestly. Like, I had a lot of names kind of like going around in my head when they were picking who for Shadow. Like, at first I was like, oh yeah, maybe like Robert Pattinson or something. But having heard Keanu Reeves in the movie, like, honestly, I cannot imagine Shadow as anyone else for the movie now. So, yeah. Disney's pretty upset. That started the rumors that Disney wants to buy... Yeah, there was a rumor, wasn't there, that Disney wanted to buy Sonic the Hedgehog franchise or something. I don't know if there's any truth to it or whatever, but I did hear those rumors. Yeah. Yeah, so it was honestly just so great. And then, obviously, all the returning voices. I think it's amazing how Ben, right, for Sonic's voice, was originally, can you believe this, originally a stand-in while they were finding another Sonic, but he is the perfect Sonic already. Like, I know that that's why they decided to pick him, right? I know that's why they decided to pick him, because he is just the perfect Sonic already. But it's so crazy to think that he came to that point from being a stand-in for Sonic originally. It's just crazy. I think that he is actually perfect. Same with Idris Elba. Just, you guys know how much I love Shadow and Knuckles. They're my two favorite boys. I just think that Idris Elba is the perfect tone, the perfect kind of level of, serious, but also a little bit silly for Knuckles. I think it's the perfect thing, so, yeah. And next, guys, what I would like to talk about, which I have prepared some special art for, is which characters I felt shined the most in this particular movie. So this is not in the Sonic movie universe in general. In this particular movie, which two characters did I feel really shined in Sonic Movie 3? And the two that I decided to pick are Tails and Shadow. Now, I want to talk about a few scenes I particularly liked from Tails. Please, look, listen, chat, listen. Look, please be kind. Please be kind about my... Hang on. Give me 1 sec, actually. I'm gonna go quickly to be right back just so that I can get it in nice position. Yoisho. There we go. That should be good. Alright, there we go. Okay. Do you guys like my art? Sil! Thank you so much for 38 months! We have Sil, what do you think of my art? Sil, what do you think of my professional art? Also, just keep in mind, we are definitely in spoiler territory now, everybody. If you haven't seen the new movie, please keep that in mind. It's still amazing that with so many top tier ads, they still got Tails' VA from the games. Isn't that amazing? I mean, honestly, cannot be a more perfect VA. Cannot be a more perfect VA for Tails, so honestly, it's cute. Thank you, so cute. Thank you so much. I think Agent Stone... Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about Agent Stone as well. I love Agent Stone too. Okay, let me talk about some of my favorite scenes, chat. Hang on, let me show you. Okay, so this one was so heckin' cute, okay? This one was so heckin' cute, chat. Look, the bit with Agent Stone and Tails together, and they're walking, they're trying to investigate the area together, and it's their first time on their own, right? And I feel like Agent Stone and Tails have some parallels, Like, Agent Stone is like the clever, the super clever, super brains of the operation, sidekick to Robotnik, right? In the same way that I feel like Tails is the brains of the operation to Sonic and Team Sonic, right? So I feel like they've got some common ground already. And then when he turns to Tails and says, "Tails, you're adorable." And Tails looks so like blushing and nervous and so heckin' cute. So heckin' sweet. Like, I just thought that scene was the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Like he just looks so adorable. Oh yeah, okay, so another thing that I really liked, right? Another thing that I really liked was the whole just the Team Sonic vibes. The Team Sonic vibes in the movie. So Tails, right, every time he has a plan. He has the plan to carry out. Like, he's got the brains. He knows what's happening. He's planned the whole operation. And in the meantime, all that Sonic's doing is running around London being like, "More tea, governor!" And then just being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to all these places in London." Just like running around being a tourist. And then Knuckles is just like, "Do I break the glass yet? Break glass yet? Break glass yet? Break glass yet?" Dio, welcome in! And honestly, like, this dynamic was just making me laugh so much. Like, Tails actually having a plan, trying to carry it out, and then Sonic just being like, more tea, governor! Not paying enough attention at all. Same with Knuckles. I enjoyed that very much. Can we just also talk about the way that the tails are so fluffy? Chat, the way that they animate Tails in the movie, right? Like, why are the tails so fluffy? Like, why does he look extra fluffy in the movie? Do you know what I mean, though? Like, even more... I mean, he looks fluffy in the games, kind of. But in the movie, he looks so fluffy. Like, you just wanna, like, touch the tails. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks so cute. Like, seriously, it's just adorable. Because Mazda Animation Plant is the best CG house in the biz. Oh, is that the animation company that did the animation? Honestly, they did such a heckin' good job. And then, oh my gosh, the other thing that I loved. Please forgive my pictures of Chow. Please forgive my pictures of Chow. But I loved how Tails was just, like, living his best life in Chow Garden. Like, he forgot the whole mission for a second there. Like, Tails was locked in to he was locked into his, like, Tokyo tourist mode. He was gonna have the best time at Chow Garden and no one was gonna stop him. The way that he was, like, so excited, being like, yeah, it's one of the top 10 spots in Tokyo. And just, like, having the best time ever. It was so peak. I was so happy to see Tails living his heckin' best life. It was so good. Yeah. The main two CG studios were Monster Animation Planet and Blur Studio. Ah, the two studios who do the CG cutscenes for the various Sonic games. Yeah, really? Okay, that is interesting. But they outsourced Sonic 3 to several dozen CG houses. I guess that makes sense, right? Because there's, like, so much work to do. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, no, I did hear that there was several different CG companies working on the movie. And despite that, you know, like, all of the animation was very, very solid and very, very consistent as well. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Tails, like, they definitely didn't need to meet in the Chow Garden. He was like, yeah, we gotta be inconspicuous. We gotta meet somewhere where people won't find us. He just wanted to go to Chow Garden. 100%, his only goal was wanting to go to Chow Garden. 100%. But we love that for him. We love that for him. Next, I want to talk about some of my favorite shadow moments from the movie. Give me 1 second. I want to talk about... some... I mean, I have so many. Favorite shadow moments. I have so many favorite shadow moments from the movie. Hello, Demon Space. Dear Milky, is there a Latina's maid cafe in Tokyo? Can we find Shadow there? I don't know, there might be. I mean, there's a lot of different maid cafes and butler cafes. They closed it down, but did I tell you I went to this, like, foreigners only butler cafe one time? It was very, very fun. Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. But yeah. So there could be. For all we know, there could be. Yeah, so here's all my favorite scenes with Shadow in them. So this is a combination of silly scenes and serious scenes as well. Okay, so one thing I did find interesting was when... So we think... Sorry, ignore my drawing of Donut Lord. I've literally drawn him as a donut, but look, you'll have to cope with that, guys. This is the extent of my artistry, okay? Like, the way that Shadow realizes what he's just done, like, he doesn't realize until the moment where Sonic, like, comes calling for Donut Lord, right? That he might have just, like, murdered Sonic's family. And that, like, look on his face when he's, like, thinking about, like, his own, you know, relationship with Maria and how he lost his own family and that he might have just done the same thing to Sonic. He brushes it off and said, I did what I have to do. But you could tell, like, the look in his eyes at that moment, like, you know, he really, like, felt it, you know? He really felt it, and he really felt that kind of, like, comparison with his own experience for a second there. And I thought that was very interesting. Now onto a less serious scene. which I wish we had more of, chat. I wish so much. This is like probably my favorite duo. This is my favorite new duo from the movie. I wish we would have seen more of Agent Stone and Shadow eating their revenge guac, watching telenovelas. I would want a whole series of just being in that room, seeing what they were doing. It was amazing. It was amazing. The way that Shadow was being like so sassy, like just kill both of them, just like yelling at his TV. Like I felt like in that moment we all related to Shadow, you know? When we're watching our telenovelas or silly reality TV on Netflix, right? And we're like yelling at the TV. And we're literally like yelling at the TV, right? Like I felt that connection to Shadow in that moment. He felt so human to me in that moment, you know? And I want to see a whole series of them with their tortilla chips, their revenge guac, just enjoying random telenovelas. That's what I want. That's definitely what I want. A slice of the ultimate life form. Like, don't you just love him? Anyway, such a good reference. Oh yes. This was one of my favorite lines from the trailer. Weakling. Where he is like looking straight down. He is looking straight down and just says weakling in the best, like crispiest voice ever. And it's everything I ever wanted. It's literally everything I ever wanted, honestly. It was so good. And I think that Sonic, right? GGAZ. I think you should, Markoska. I mean, same energy. Honestly, same energy. And I think one of the key things I thought is like Sonic up until that point, like I feel like Eggman is like mean to Sonic, but in a very like comical way. I feel like this is the first time that Sonic actually felt someone being like genuinely like rude. Genuinely rude to him, right? So I think Sonic was a bit taken back by this, and I very much enjoyed that scene as well. But oh my gosh, my favorite scenes that Shadow was in definitely had to be with movie version of Maria. Because oh my god, were you guys surprised? Were you guys surprised by like how much of a menace movie Maria was? Like she was just like skating everywhere, like you know, doing pranks on all the soldiers and stuff. I thought it was so fun. I really loved the way that they interpreted her character in the movie. Yeah, she was so cute, right? I felt like she was a very kind of believable character in that movie too, right? Like I feel like, you know, if you're gonna be cooped up in a research facility with not a lot to do, you're gonna be cheeky. You know, you're gonna get cheeky. You're gonna want to play some pranks. And I really liked that. She felt very kind of human to me in the movie. It might be my favorite version. It might be my favorite version of Maria, I think. So I really enjoyed her just like going around on her skates. Yeah, Maria is better when she's a normal girl. Yeah, no, honestly, it was kind of refreshing to see her in that kind of way. Because up until then, you know, with the illness and stuff, like she can't really, you know, move that much, right? Like she wouldn't necessarily be able to roller skate in the games, right? So it was a really nice kind of refreshing take on Maria's character without having the whole illness storyline. It was very interesting. I thought it was interesting. And I really liked Shadow and Maria being able to be like cheeky together. Is the way I would describe it. Like both of them just like being a total menace. And did we notice as well that Shadow gave some genuine smiling? The cake angels were so cute, right? Just like every scene with Maria and Shadow in the movie I thought was just so good. So those are my favorite scenes that Shadow was in. Okay, next up, guys, is moments that made me cry. Which was a lot. I think I didn't include all of them. I think there are more. I think there are more than the ones that I've got here, but I'm gonna go over some of them at least. Okay, moments in the movie that made me cry. Moments in the movie that made me cry. These are some of them. some of the moments. I love the skating. It was cool how she moved like how Shadow runs. Yeah, right? That was really cool. I like that. Yeah. No, that's true. No, definitely. Like, the accident, I feel like it was very much glossed over, but perhaps that was because the movie was PG in the end, right? So maybe that's why that was kind of, like, glossed over a bit and made as minimal as possible, which I can understand. You know, I feel like they did it in a reasonably good way. Yeah, so the scenes that I cried at. The scenes that I cried at in the movie. Let's go to this one first. Oh, man. I couldn't, chat. I could not hold myself together. The best love story in the Sonic movie universe. I could not. Oh my god. Like, wasn't this just so unexpected as well? Like, this totally came out of left field for me. Like, I did not know that there was gonna be such an emotional scene with Stone and Robotnik, but I loved it. It was so good. You know, the key thing I felt like, you know, Robotnik finally realizing who his true family is, right? Like, family, isn't necessarily who you're related to by blood, you know? Just like the best family can sometimes just be the people that are always there for you and always supporting you. And I feel like that moment where Robotnik realized like Agent Stone is his family. You know, his grandfather might be his family by blood, but he's not his family. And I think that was a very, very powerful moment. Yeah. Where he was like, you actually cared, you know, you actually cared, and I'm sacrificing myself for the sake of the planet and for you, you know? And the true look of love in Agent Stone's eyes, and how much like Robotnik is just like his everything. I just thought that was so sweet, and I was bawling. I was totally bawling in the cinema. I cried at the scene when Maria talked about the stars. Me too. I didn't actually include that one in this sheet, but I cried at that too. There were definitely moments that I cried that I didn't include in here. Okay, we gotta love this scene, chat. We love this scene. Look, this was probably my favorite scene. Like, the progression. I mean, I think for a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, like, the progression from this scene into going super into Live and Learn, I think for a lot of people was definitely their favorite. Yeah. Honestly, like, it was just so great. Like, this deep, meaningful conversation. The whole setting, right? The whole setting felt very emotional, like sitting on the moon, right? It felt so emotional. And you know, I feel like this is the moment where they actually realize that they are friends. They are comrades, right? Like, they are not enemies. They actually have common ground. They have common ground of, like, love and loss, right? And I think that this is the moment where they both realize that. I made the conversation a bit more simple than it actually is. But, you know, when Shadow's sort of saying, you know, does the pain ever go away? He's finally letting, you know, I feel like up until this point, he could only be vulnerable with Maria, right? This is probably the first time that he's been vulnerable with anyone other than Maria. And he's choosing to be vulnerable with Sonic. And I think that's a really important thing, right? Because they've gone from what they thought were enemies, people who could never get along, to people who are, you know, I feel like that's the definition of a friend, right? That's the definition of a friend. Being able to be vulnerable with someone and be your true self and show those parts of you that maybe you keep kept inside, you know? And I think that was a very, very beautiful scene. I thought that was very, very beautiful. And of course, chat, look, listen. This scene was amazing. I did cry my eyes out. Right? When Maria, you know, said, you know, Shadow kind of thought that doing all this stuff, trying to blow up the world for Maria was the right thing to do, right? And then he finally realized that no, Maria would have wanted everyone on Earth to be saved, right? He realized that's what Maria would have wanted. Sonic's kind of like, oh yeah, Shadow's actually not that bad. After Shadow's kind of like sharing his emotions with Sonic, Sonic's like, oh yeah, he's alright. He's okay. They wrote Sonic and Shadow in this movie with a Naruto and Gaara arc. See, I've never actually seen Naruto. Is that bad? I've never seen Naruto. One day I'll actually have to watch it. Milky, believe me when I sent durian foods, I did it with love. Sus. Sus. No, I do. I appreciate all the gifts from you guys, even if it is durian. But yeah. And when Live and Learn played, I cried. I cried so hard, you guys. Like, this was probably the bit that I cried the most because, like, it's not just it's not just this part in the movie with Sonic and Shadow, you know, finally becoming friends and working together to save the world. It was that hit of, like, nostalgia, too, for me, I think, that really made me cry at this moment. Like, live and learn. Like, I just think back to the time that I first played Sonic Adventure 2, and, like, something inside of me, I don't know how to explain it, but something inside of me, like, changed that day. Like, the day that I discovered Sonic Adventure 2, and I just got obsessed, right? I got obsessed with it, chat. I really did get obsessed with it. And I feel like that was a huge kind of turning point in my life for me, then continuing to get, like, really into stuff. Like, Sonic was the first thing, but then, you know, anime, Japanese music. I feel like it was really a turning point for me to kind of, I don't know, just love what I love and not care what anyone else thinks. And I think that having all that kind of nostalgia flooding back in this scene when Live and Learn played, I think I definitely cried the most. Yeah, I definitely cried the most for me. Yeah. Mario was never cinematic and cool the way Sonic was. I think that's a great way of describing it. Like, I played a lot of Mario too, but I feel like that was more purely for fun. When I played Mario, it was purely for fun. For Sonic, there was something else, like something that really kind of, like, inspired me about the story, the characters, the way they interacted. Like, it was different. Like, it impacted my life in a very different way. And so, yeah, I feel like it was very incredibly important in my life. Look, please... Chat, please forgive my drawings of Donut Lord, okay? I'm trying. I honestly, this made me cry too, right? Like, when Sonic wasn't sure if they were gonna lose Donut Lord, and he remembered this quote from Donut Lord where, you know, at the time when it played in the movie, we didn't really think much of it. Like, I didn't think that maybe Donut Lord was gonna maybe die, right? Like, I didn't even think that that was a possibility, right? So when it played first in the movie, I was like, yeah, alright, cool, he's being a good dad. But then when it went back with Sonic thinking about this scene, like when he wasn't sure if Donut Lord was gonna survive or not, you know? I realized, like, what a good dad. What a heckin' good dad Donut Lord is, right? Like, what a good parent. Like, you know, Sonic it's kind of like, in the first movie, Sonic's kind of really finding himself, finding his first friends. The second movie, he's kind of finding his own crew, gaining his independence. I feel like the third movie is the kind of, like, I don't know, sending off your child kind of movie, you know? Like, Sonic isn't, I mean, he's still part of the family, but he's not really dependent on sort of Donut Lord anymore, right? And I think that sort of make your own choices, make the right choices for yourself, and that advice was actually hit me very emotional, you know? Like, I didn't think that it would, but when Sonic wasn't sure if Donut Lord was going to survive or not, and he thought back to that quote, I thought that was really, really nice. Yeah, I thought that was really nice. Cleaning that Donut Lord sweater is going to be so troublesome. Yeah, I was thinking that. Honestly. I have no idea how they'll do that. And then I have a few other little extra little scenes that I wanted to share with you guys. Let's have a look. Just some general thoughts. Just some general thoughts and some other bits that I really liked in the movie. Okay, this one I found very funny. I don't know if you guys kind of, like, picked up on this as well, but I think the whole, like, dynamic of Team Sonic throughout the movie, right? Like, both Sonic and Tails were very, like, hyper about everything. Like, Tails was, like, really excited to be at the Chow Garden and be in Tokyo. I imagine Tails is, like, a bit of a weeb, right? And then Sonic seemed really excited to be in London. Like, he's like, I'll have another cuppa, and just, like, I don't know, putting on the crown jewels and all that. Like, he seemed really excited to be in London, right? Knuckles literally could not give a... Like, Knuckles was just like, I want to fight. I want to punch stuff. It was just like, he was going along for the ride. And was like, cool. But, like, I found it so funny how kind of, like, uninterested Knuckles was. Compared to these two who were, like, going crazy for all the places they were going. I thought that was so much heckin' funny. I thought that was so heckin' funny. Yeah. Movie 1, finding family. Movie 2, making friends. Movie 3, doing the right thing for others. I think that's a great summary of it, actually. Yeah, definitely. 1000% muscle. Yeah, I don't know. I found this so funny. Like, this whole dynamic I thought was really good. Oh my god. And what about this? What about this scene, guys? This was crushing, wasn't it? This was hecking crushing. Where Robotnik is literally like putting his everything into his relationship with his grandfather. He's so excited. Like, his grandfather's just excited to have someone on the plan with him. That's all he's excited for. But Robotnik, like Ivo, he's just really excited to have his grandpa. He's really excited to have some blood family, right? And then at this moment, when he says, "Oh, Ivo, you're no Maria," like, it was so painful. Like, I've written literally what is wrong with this guy, because that's all I could write. That is literally all I could write. Like, movie for love. Rick Bain, I really hope so. I really hope it's gonna be Son Amy, Shad Amy triangle. Look, listen, wouldn't that be amazing? And just all the kind of angst of a, like, high school romance triangle. Like, wouldn't it be the best thing ever? Listen, I think that would be such a good, like, angle for movie 4. Yeah, Grandpa's just using Ivo to consume by revenge. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not even seeing him as a person, I feel like, you know? And all, you know, Ivo, all his dreams of having an amazing future with his grandfather crushed by literally one sentence. And you can see he's like about to cry. Man, this was so crushing. This was so heckin' sad. Another thing which I feel like we definitely should mention, okay, so I know everyone was going crazy for Shadow on the bike. Fair enough. The way he Akira slided up Skytree, which was not obvious in the trailer. I didn't realize that was what was happening. And then in the movie, it's clear that he's Akira sliding up Skytree. Crazy. Okay, the coolest thing ever. But still, guys, listen. Agent Stone looked heckin' cool on that motorbike. Like, let's just take a second. Like, I had no idea who it was gonna be. And when I found out it was Agent Stone, I was like, damn! Like, Agent Stone was looking so heckin' cool on that motorbike. They didn't really have a scene where they got to show off their bikes together, but I think that would have been great. Like, can you imagine, like, Agent Stone and Shadow both on their bikes, biker gang, going out to buy some guac? Going out to get ingredients for revenge guac, you know what I mean? I feel like that would have been an amazing bonding experience if Shadow and Agent Stone had been both on their bikes. I think that would have been amazing. Oh nice, I just watched Sonic 3 a couple of days ago. Spooky, isn't it great? I'm just going through my Sonic 3 movie review at the moment. Yeah, I've drawn out all the things I wanted to talk about with you guys. Also, another thing which I found quite interesting and mysterious, Agent Rockwell. I feel like I thought Agent Rockwell was going to be like a bigger character than she was. I think they might be just giving us like an amuse-bouche, right? I think she might turn out to be a much bigger character in the next movie, right? I think, because they're not sure yet if Jim Carrey is going to be able to come back or not, right? So I think they were setting it up, perhaps, that she could be the next villain, is the kind of vibe that I was getting. I put very grumpy. I feel like she doesn't smile a lot. But what is her story? What is her story? I think that this is going to be an interesting thing because, yeah, like, I feel like she was utilized in the movie, but not as much as I thought that she would be. So I think perhaps she will be a big part in the next movie. That's one of my predictions. That she's gonna be, we're gonna find out more about her. More about her past, and she's gonna be like a big part in the next movie, I think. Yeah. The Last Wish in the Wild Robot. The Wild Robot, everyone says it's amazing. I'm excited to see it. Yeah. But yeah, that was my review of, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say. We will sum up that I honestly, right, chat, I thought it was amazing. Definitely the best out of the trilogy. And, you know, I was wondering how good it was actually going to be, right? Or whether I would just find it good for the nostalgia aspect for Sonic Adventure 2. But honestly, the way that it incorporated my favorite game of all time, the way that it cast all of the voices, all of the actors, actresses so well, and just the way that it, you know, it wasn't directly the story of Sonic Adventure 2, but the way that it was inspired by the source material, whilst keeping that feel of the game, keeping the feeling that I love about the Sonic franchise, I thought that it was absolutely chef's kiss.